Blessed be y'all, this is Jen Freemind. I'm going to talk a little bit today, I think. I'm not sure what the subject is exactly, but maybe boredom, maybe disappointment, disillusionment. Not sure what word actually fits. I just got back from a trip I took with my mother to a Bigfoot conference in Texas here. And we've been going to this for several years. I figured out this was my 7th time going. This was her 6th. The first time I went, I heard about it, like the day before, and I just got a wild hair and decided I'm getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning and drive out there. And it's held in Jefferson, Texas every year. And always some interesting speakers there. I can't say I didn't learn quite a few things, but on the other hand, I was disappointed. And I think a lot of the disappointment comes from I've been 7 times in the last 10 years, and, there's not really been any progress made. There's no new films that are as good as the Patterson film. There's no DNA evidence that has actually showed anything. And I've wondered about, one year there was a guy there that was talking about fingerprints that they had collected and how they were patterned like apes, and the difference was that the ridges and the valleys were twice as large as you would find on other known apes. But they were a very similar pattern. They don't have unique patterns like humans do. They all have the same pattern on their fingers. And I've wondered about that. I went on that pagan camp out and I was a bit disappointed. And I don't know if it's really boredom or it's just I don't see that things have progressed a whole bunch. I feel like I've progressed a whole lot, but I don't see that the world and the studies and everything have progressed a lot. Now at the camp out there, I saw a lot of people that yes, they had done something with their life. They were working on, making their life better, eating better, healing themselves, doing things like that. Which I found very encouraging, that I wasn't the only one doing that sort of stuff. But, I'm not going to say that I won't go to these things anymore, but next year I might try a different one. I might go up to Oklahoma or something like that. And, meet some new people and stuff like that. It seems like most of the same people, the authors and stuff like that, go to different ones around here. So it'll probably be similar speakers, maybe different speakers, but probably I'll see some of the same speakers and stuff like that. But it's more to meet the attendees than anything else. But some of the interesting stuff I learned, like how many wild cats there are in Texas, and even though the Forest Service denies that a lot of them exist in Texas, and the politics that surrounds what the orthodoxy says about populations of animals and things like that, and a lot of that gets driven by the Endangered Species Act, that if this endangered species is in this area, then we can't do logging or whatever other exploitation that we want to do, and that would mess up the economics of the area and stuff like that. And I did also see that there was a guy there, and he talked about how things had changed a bit in the orthodoxy about the linear progression of the Homo line, and that there were different branches of that, and they had intermarried with other lines and things like that. And from 1950, where it was basically a straight line, to today, where there's a lot of branches of that, because there has been so many other finds that they had to figure out where to put them in. I mean, I personally think there was probably many different humanoids that have inhabited this planet, and probably many of them were very advanced people, because you can see the ancient constructions around the world that we could not duplicate today with our big cranes and all that technology. We couldn't duplicate that. We can't lift like 300-ton blocks, and they try to tell you that they rolled them along with a whole bunch of slaves and stuff like that. No, no, 300 tons is going to crush wood. I'm sorry. No, I don't know the method that they used. I've seen a lot of things about levitation and stuff like that with sound waves and things like that. But they obviously had a technology that we don't understand today. A friend of mine showed me this one thing that some people have come up with for the pyramids, and that was where they could have built a round wooden structure around the blocks, and that would enable them to roll the blocks rather than pulling them flat. And that makes a lot of sense to me, and it is not technology that's out of the realm of even what the scientific stuff says now. They don't have to believe in sound levitation or anything like that. I mean, it's wood and nails and carpentry. But do we hear anything about that? No, because they're so entrenched in what they want to believe. So, yeah, I don't discourage anybody from going out to stuff, but I think after you've been to something a few times, and maybe it's the novelty wears off, but and this year just seemed to be like that. I mean, I went to Ohio in May, and it was still really cool. I can't say that the novelty wore off or anything. And I was much more comfortable and kind of knew what to do, and some of the gathering places where people talked and stuff like that, which I did not know about before, and got to talk to people more and stuff like that. So I hope that doesn't get stale after a while. But go out and find some new stuff, and it's about meeting people. It's about encouraging yourself that you're not alone in the world, that there are other people out there, even though they're probably too far away for you to socialize with in person. But at least you can go and talk to them and actually just know that you're not alone, and it encourages you to keep going on your path. This is Jen Freemind. Blessed be y'all.